Hello and welcome to this episode of my podcast titled The Chaotic Nature of the Creative Process. Here I have with me my amazing friend, Sarahi. Alright, and I've known her for forever now, it seems, right?
Yeah.
I basically joke around about I said the other day we were basically cousins, which I mean, makes sense.
Makes sense. You're in my house right now.
Yeah. So, is there anything you want to share to introduce yourself?
Hi. As Sam said, I'm Sarahi. I'm the interviewee. I had no idea this was gonna happen. This was all random. Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome. All right, just a little to get to know you. So, what are your main creative hobbies?
My main creative hobbies are sketching, painting, and jewelry making currently.
All right, and what is your favorite artistic medium?
Ooh, that's hard. I'd have to say either acrylic markers or just regular pencil, like charcoal.
We'll get into a little bit of facts that I've read, and then I'll ask how this relates to you. So, burnout syndrome has been noted to be linked to exhaustion, whether that's from strong emotional or cognitive tension due to stress, and to detachment. And that's just because you don't identify necessarily with your project, or there's a lack of desire to want to continue your work. Do you think that's true?
I would say the first half is true. When you get burnt out, it's because you have you put a lot of expectation, you put a lot of time into it, you put a lot of effort into it, and it doesn't come out the way you want it. You get very frustrated, and then you're all like, well, if I can't do this properly, did I do any of my other projects properly? And then it goes into the mental spiral. Am I even good enough to be an artist? Is this what it's even art called,
Yeah.
So, but I feel like the second part is more of frustration that you can't get the artwork to work right.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, if you do have a burnout, it is much more better in a creative sense to step back, take a breather, and if you want to continue the artwork, go for it. If you don't, I wouldn't say push it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can keep it in the back to be like, oh, this is what happened at a certain time. Because for me personally, I love it when I have mistakes in my artworks, because then that just reminds me, hey, a human made this.
Yeah. So you said the first part of that was true. And is there possibly another dimension that burnout syndrome can be a result of?
I'd say another part of it, for me at least, I don't know if other artists relate to this, but it's when you do too much of the same thing at the same time. For me, I started branching out to other mediums because although I loved charcoal and I loved pencil, it was so easy to get bored with those things because you would do it again and again and again and again, and you want to branch out into something that you don't know and you think you might be good at.
Mm-hmm.
And if I kept on doing one thing over and over again, I felt like the creativity that I had for a certain project would just burn out of me.
Yeah, repetition does require you're sticking to the structure. So if you vary off, then you're just exploring all the capabilities that you actually have. You're not just sticking to one thing. Yeah, you're exploring multiple art mediums and your potential not success, but enjoyment in it.
Yeah.
Another question: when you feel artist block creeping in, what's the first sign you notice?
When I have the ambition to draw and the motivation to draw, I grab my sketchbook, grab all my supplies that I think I'm going to use to create an artwork, put down my pencil, and I'm I don't know what to do. I'm literally sitting there how do I start again?
Yeah.
You want to draw something, you have the motivation to draw it, and then all of a sudden when you finally pick up that pencil, you want to draw it, and you're all what was I going to do again?
Yeah. Or if you're not what was I going to do, but how do I start?
Yeah, definitely.
If I start a project and I don't know where to go with it, I put it off to the side. I'm I'm going to get away from it. Or if it's fresh, I just pull a string.
Never happened.
Yeah, never happened. So I just try to like just get away from it, like distance myself from the fact that I was unsuccessful in trying to put my creativity out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's just me.
Yeah. Sometimes it depends. Recently, I've been having art blocks for like weeks on end, but that's just because I am constantly drawing, constantly putting something out, constantly forcing myself to do projects, so that way like I can improve my artwork. Compared to like back when I was in high school and I didn't have a lot of free time to draw, I had more creativity and art block would rarely happen.
Okay.
But like there was this one time where I had like art block for a whole on like half a year. I did not pick up that sketchbook at all.
You're like, I'm putting that off to the side. Was it that you didn't want to, or was it like not thinking about it like at all?
I wanted to so bad, but right when I would always pick up that pencil or like pen or whatever markers I had, the ideas would just and I didn't have a phone at the time, so I was no creative flow was coming in. All I had was the outdoors, and I was like, you know what, I guess I'll just go on my scooter.
Okay, makes sense. All right, so I saw in one study that when a group of students was promised a reward for creating a story, they were less imaginative compared to those who were not promised a reward. Mm-hmm. And can you see how that is true when thinking about your commission work?
Yes, absolutely. When I was in high school, I really didn't want to do many of the art projects in like Art 1, Art 2, Art 3, all those basic stuff, because they were things that I already knew or like somewhat knew. And then a teacher would be like, oh, so you have to base this project off of another artist, or oh, you have to base this project off of like something that inspires you. This teacher would constantly remind us whatever grade we would get by the quality of the artwork and by the time we put into the artwork. So that motivated me less and less, because I'm all like, well, if he's just gonna grade it like as if I didn't create an artwork that I liked, why should I put effort into it?
Yeah, because then you feel more like you have boxes to check. It's very limiting.
Yeah, and I feel like with creative writing, because I was very good at English, but I could not do creative writing for the life of me. Now that I'm not in high school, I'm literally doing creative writing like practically whenever I have free time or whenever I have the motivation to do something, because I have that idea and I'm like, well, there's nobody saying that I have to meet a certain criteria with this. So, or when you're like on a topic of, or using like a medium that you really enjoy, and then the teachers are like, but you have to copy it the way how another artist did it. Yeah, and I'm like, but I want to do it my way, you know?
It's kind of like they're putting an anchor on you.
They're putting like an expectation.
Okay, explore, but
stay within this limit. Like you cannot leave this perimeter.
So I know, obviously, in the creative world, works in progress exist. They do, sadly. So, do you organize your works in progress physically? Like, putting them in an area where you're like, okay, this is my area of stuff that needs to eventually get my attention?
Yeah.
Or do you do it mentally? Like, you're like, okay, this, I can't forget about it. I just gotta get to it sometime.
100% mentally. I don't ever put my projects that I never finish on the side, just because I feel like if I do put them on the side, I'm going to forget about them.
Yeah.
So if I always constantly see them and be like, I have to fix that, I have to do that, but I don't like the way how it's turning out, but okay. Until like one day I'll finally pick it up and be like, alright, time to finish this.
Yeah. No, I think with me, with crochet, I think because of a lot of it is like, it takes up more space than, let's say, a page or something that you're working on. I do put them like all together and I'm like, okay, I see them there, I have to get to it someday. But then I'm like, there's so many in that box, like, am I really gonna finish all of them?
like I said, if I put them aside, never gonna remember them. If they're like right in front of my face or in the back of my mind because it's on my desk, laying there somewhere, I'll be like, I have to get that done before I start a new project. But I mean, I have like multiple projects while I'm doing one.
Yeah, I mean, that's too common.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's an issue because, I mean, when you do put something off to the side, it's because maybe you're trying to do something else.
Yeah.
And you're just like you're trying to put your creativity out there, but you're sacrificing the potential that one of your artworks that you could have finished could have reached.
Yeah.
I also saw that being too inflexible in your commitments can negatively impact your ability to achieve creative success. So when you're too precise in your expectations for a work, does this stop you from fully tapping into your creativity?
Yes, it's good to put certain expectations on your artwork. Like, what do you want to improve on? Like, what do you want to come out best? What is the main focal point? But if you're too overbearing on that, so saying like you spend 3 hours on just like, I don't know, the background or something, and you still have like another 6 hours to go for everything else, I feel like if you're too overbearing on the details that people won't see, although you have that satisfaction of feeling that, oh, hey, this is a tiny little detail that I put in, if you put too much work and effort into that and your main focal point is somewhere else, I feel like that just ruins the whole thing, because you're telling people, look here, but your project is supposed to be here. So you know, like, it's good to put expectations on your artwork. It's not very good to overbear on those expectations of your artwork.
Yeah, makes sense. Because I mean, when you're too nitpicky on certain details, that for you it's like the whole world, but to other people it's like they're looking more at the bigger picture, which is obvious because they're not the ones who created the artwork. But yeah, I think it does kind of make you take a bit more, I don't want to say time either, because it's good to take time when you're creating art, but it kind of slows you down a little bit, I want to say.
And I mean, it's not a harsh thing to say, but it's very rarely that you'll come across another person that would notice the little details that you put in.
That's true. Now, shifting to your commitments, like outside of the artistic realm, how do you manage the guilt of working on your art when you feel like you should be focusing on non-creative responsibilities?
It would be hard, because like, if I'm supposed to be working on something else and working on, you know, things that I'm supposed to do but I'm not doing because I want to keep that creative flow going, yes, it's a sort of guilt. Like, oh, should I choose my hobby over something that I'm supposed to do? Or should I like manage my time better? Should I do this? Should I do that? It's like, it's a very complex nature for me personally. Because I'm all like, on one side, I'm all like, oh no, you have to be rational and do your things first. And, you know, have that passion for those things so that way you get a good mark, or, you know, get the acknowledgement or whatever you did, you know, just to properly put your hand out onto that, compared to being like, but this is a hobby, this is something you do fun, on the fun side, you know, like, you don't have to be nitpicky about it. So if you have a passion about it, go for it. But like, at the same time, it still takes me a very long time. It's still a hard thing to handle, like having that fun and then having that balance of work.
Okay, so then going off of that, do you think sometimes when you do focus on your non-creative responsibilities, that sometimes that eats into like potential ideas that you could have been like throwing out there if you would have went to your creative responsibilities? I
would have to say no for me personally, because when I'm focused on my responsibilities, whatever it is, my mind is only on that. Because for me, what I've learned is that if you have your mind drift somewhere else, you're going to be doing like 7 things at the same time, and that's not fun. So what my mind does is that, hey, look, you have this certain time to this certain time. then you have that certain time to that certain time. It's like, again, time management, like managing the way how you go throughout your day. But if my responsibilities do take me longer, I wouldn't realize it because I'm focused on that.
Yeah,
only.
that's true. I would say I'm the other way. Like, sometimes I am doing my responsibilities, like schoolwork, and I'm like, man, this sucks because, I mean, I'm not really, like, since school started, I haven't really tapped into my creative hobbies anymore. So I'm just like, man, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing my work, and it's good that I am doing it, but I'm not putting my creativity out there anymore. I don't know, it's like discouraging to me because I'm like, I could be just, because sometimes I see like doing stuff like crochet is kind of mentally like relieving, so if I'm not doing that, I'm like missing out. For me, I feel like I'm missing out on something that could relax me from all the stresses of life.
But I feel like the reason why my responsibilities and my guilt for my artwork, or the other way around it goes, never really happens is because I limit myself.
Okay, so we're gonna get into more curious questions. Like, I'm just curious about what you have to say.
Okay.
If you had to trade one of your current creative skills for a new, completely random creative skill, which would you trade and why?
Oh, that's hard. That's such a hard question.
It could be like anything that you're currently like not engaged in artistically. Just anything.
I'd probably say bye-bye watercolor.
Watercolor?
Yeah.
And what would you replace it with?
I would replace it with probably like any other artistic skill. Like, no matter how unreasonable it sounds.
No matter.
I'd probably do glass making.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, I think you have said before something about glass making.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very interesting thing to learn.
Yeah.
I've already tried pottery. That is amazing. But I feel like the next step is like glass blowing. There we go. Okay. Glass blowing.
Oh, that. Okay,
glass blowing, or like creating little miniatures or caricatures out of glass. I feel like that would be really cool.
That does sound cool. You're kind of giving up the whole 2D thing and going more 3D. Artwork. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds awesome though. I think you should go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't trade watercolor for that. Like, test out.
Yeah, I definitely probably would.
I can see you doing it.
Yeah.
What is the non-monetary value you place on your creations? Like, is it the joy of the process, therapy and well-being, or growth and learning? So, like, yeah. I
would say it's a mix of both. Like I said, I would never put myself doing something that I don't like to do. So I would say it's like for the joy out of it, but at the same time, because I like it so much, I want to experience that growth in it.
Okay.
So I want to experience like, oh, this is how I did it before, this is how I did it now. I like the way how this one came out, but I love the way how it's vibrant over here.
All right, last question. Is there a piece of advice you often give to other artists about inspiration that you yourself are terrible at following?
Practice. Practice, yeah. I wouldn't say I practice a lot. I try to, like anatomy, shading, values, focal points, perspective, like, and especially even in like things like 3D artwork making, so like, using paper mache or stuff like that, being kind of formal and knowledgeable about the basics of those 3D artworks as well. I don't know much. I just go for it. And I'm like, if it works, it works. Yeah. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I feel like, yes, it is a big thing that a lot of artists, especially beginner artists or even like higher level artists, just go back to the basics, practice a lot, even though you don't want to.
You're like, okay, here's all you need to know. I'm gonna give you that advice. But if they were to ask you, how often do you practice?
Like, I don't know, once a week.
You're like, actually, we won't get into detail. Let's focus on you.
Yeah, let's focus on your growth, you know?
You're asking for advice, so I'm gonna give you my advice. But don't question how I...
Yeah, don't question how I do it.
Yeah.
It's like
we'll leave it at
references.
All right, well, we've reached the end. So thank you for sharing all about the chaotic nature of the creative process. I mean, a lot of the stuff you said I can relate to. So I think others listening, if you're if you can relate to this stuff, I mean, it only makes sense. You're hearing it from an artist, and so thank you for joining me.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me.
Hopefully, I don't know, I feel like something like podcasting like this would be kind of fun, like just to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm getting into this.